Welcome to the Royal Rumble. Silento. There's an artist called Silento. Hello. Welcome to Zambia. He hasn't been arrested. I'm sorry. That's usually what happens if you're an American rapper. Let's do this. This shall be done. Let us begin. Hola. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You're far too kind, and if you're gonna, look, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for the warm welcome, and I appreciate it. But you are welcome. Is there an echo effect?
You can actually make one in programming.
So it's not like automatic.
Yeah, so those are the presets that it comes with. Then you can, there's an option.
Oh, okay, enough said anyway. Hello. Welcome to Zambia. What a day. Thanks a lot for having me. My name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. What do we do on this podcast? We take a look at some of the big news stories of the day, and we give context to these stories. What are we going to talk about? Well, the baby that was amputated, and the family is blaming the hospital for it. We are going to give you details in this story. We also are going to talk about the by-election in Petauke. The candidates have been revealed, so that's coming up on the podcast today. There's a very sad story also of a man here in Lusaka who's squatting in a bathroom, and he's asking for salary arrears, but also fuel. In fact, that's what we're going to start with on the podcast today. We should start right there, actually. A fuel situation in the country. You have probably come across the complaints, or have been a victim yourself of the short supply of petroleum products being fuel. And the concern by people is that they don't have access to fuel. The Energy Regulation Board says, well, that's not entirely true, because people have access to a certain degree of petroleum products, and that is them getting access to 74% of stocks. There are about 29 filling stations that do not have fuel across the country. There are about 400 of them that have both, and there are some filling stations that only have diesel. So this is the situation that is ongoing. So you may be wondering why this is happening. I've done a bit of an extensive job at explaining this. I've got a video out on my X account, on my Facebook, on my TikTok. But I also did have an interview yesterday with the Director General of the Energy Regulation Board, and the link is in the description here for you to be able to watch the interview in detail. But basically, a logistical problem. Zambia imports fuel products from Beira, through Beira. Beira is a port in Mozambique. Now, we used to use the Zimbabwean route, and by using the Zimbabwean route, we used to use Zimbabwean tankers, and there are about 2,500 of those tankers. Now, in August last year, Zimbabwe introduced a new transit levy. This transit levy is for them to pay about $25,000, and this $25,000 is paid at entry. So when they enter Zimbabwe from Mozambique, they pay $25,000, and then when they exit, they get refunded that $25,000. The idea is that these commodities should not be, when you enter and then you say you are going to Zambia. You enter Zimbabwe, then you say you're going to Zambia. Then you don't go to Zambia. You offload, and that's basically taxation fraud, transit fraud. And people put a tracker. So there's a tracker on the truck, and you enter Zimbabwe from Mozambique, and you remove the tracker and put it on another vehicle that exits entering Zambia, and you say we exited. So now they put this money. So if you want your $25,000, give us this $25,000. We'll only give you when you're exiting. The problem with that has been that the refund takes long. Apparently, it takes several days. Now, if you are an oil marketing company and you've got 5 trucks that are moving, it means every time those trucks are moving, you need $100,000. $100,000 for them to just pass Zimbabwe. It's not part of your operational costs. And that's a lot of money to be spent. And the other side of this problem is that these tankers are Zimbabwean, right? They belong to Zimbabwean businesses. So we can't just engage them to use an alternative route because Zimbabwe has a third country rule, which is basically that their tankers, wherever they're going to operate, have to pass through Zimbabwe. Even if they go to Mozambique, you can't just use another route and then go to Zambia. You must pass through Zimbabwe if you are a Zimbabwean business. And now that's where the problem is. So we have no choice but to need that 2,500 tankers and to operate with Zimbabwe. So that's where the challenge has been. This is 2,500 tankers that have been taken off of Zambia's supply. And because of that, we're experiencing the deficit that we're experiencing. The alternative is for us to use a longer route and also to import from Dar es Salaam, which is a much longer route, actually, compared to Beira. That is what's happening. So that's what's going on with the fuel situation in the country. I hope I've made. Did I make sense? Have I explained it well? Yeah. Very clear, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, moving on, we take a look at some of the other stories. Discrepancies in amputation case calling for an inquiry. The Lusaka District Health Office has disclosed that the limb of a 5-month-old baby who underwent amputation following allegations of improper medication was stable at the time of the discharge. And according to a report that was filed at the Lusaka District Health Office by Chipata First Level Hospital, the baby's mother initially left the hospital after refusing a blood transfusion that medical personnel had actually recommended for a child. But let's take a look at this.
Health authorities have responded to the allegations regarding the 5-month-old baby who lost an arm due to an alleged medical negligence, emphasizing on the role to protect and save lives. This is a matter in which a 5-month-old baby is alleged to have been administered with wrong medication at Chipata First Level Hospital in Lusaka, leaving the infant's family in distress. According to authorities, the mother initially left the hospital after declining a recommended blood transfusion for her child, which had been advised by medical personnel. The authority claims that the baby was discharged in a stable condition, but the parents later returned to the hospital with a child who had developed discoloration on the left hand.
The parents brought back the child, but this time if you see them in the pouch, it was noted that there was discoloration, a bit of purplish discoloration on the hand. So when they left, efforts to look for the client were unsuccessful because we couldn't find the client. That is what was brought to my office in terms of what had transpired. So like I said, on our end, the child went, because remember we needed to transfuse the child, but we never transfused because they refused. So the child went back with them, the limbs were okay.
The authority has acknowledged that the family is traumatized and needs help, but the mother has disputed the official narrative, alleging that the hospital's report is a fabrication designed to conceal their own culpability.
Iya ibotiza vameticha lepana panotenga again injection obamula sap pamene panaenda kuja kuti akambatie kwanja yaununge kamwana doctor wena muononga kwanja ndosaba pamene mnaenda kuja nenzotrenga kuti valewerewe muchani but izo the fact vaziva kuti iyi ni mlandu vanachita mlandu because enzofunika sembe kuti venze didara sembe nzana kunyamulani nokupasa mtandizo first mwana wansembe kwanja kapena ilipo pali manje vanachitira dala vanaona kuti ni mlandu vanatrenga kuti valewe vanilekelele ne valewe munkhani Siniza kapena mwana angenze pezona blood. Kai sinine doctor. But swana niweza kuti kapena I blood timuike mwana alibeba gazi. Kama chilunga maswana bwelepo na magazi. Muja ku emergency. Anafika te uyafika sorry ni mlandu kwanja ifu niko ndo juwiwe. Mwana wanamuononga. So kuyembekeza mpaka kufika kuma 10 hours. Naona kulibeta ndizali yose mwana ninachezera naye the whole night. Trying achape motavira myanu sinakane manaka mbati group ya mwana wanga ya blood kulibe ku clinic. But wana mshita operation buno. So namfakepo blood kufieta. Olo sana bwelepo naka blood kuchoka kufieta.
It is crucial that the Ministry of Health takes her concerns seriously and conducts a comprehensive investigation to determine the facts of the case. Peter Zunda Jr., Damo News, Lusaka.
Okay, this is a very difficult story, to talk about. But I think the only thing I can say is that I hope that it reaches a logical conclusion. And I don't want to spend much time on this because it's a very emotional thing. People's emotions are involved, and so I'm just going to try and avoid talking about this altogether. 5 days have passed since flash floods wreaked havoc in Lusaka's Kabanana West, that is located in Mandevu. The devastating floods left dozens of families displaced, with many now struggling to find shelter and basic necessities. So this is the thing. Our city is very poorly planned. We know that. And, because of that, these episodes of rainfall that we've been experiencing obviously come with their own consequences. And it's the floods that we're now talking about. So it must be really devastating to lose your property in such a way, because imagine it's raining heavily and the place where you're supposed to seek shelter is now getting flooded and you are helpless, basically. So we hope that these families can be assisted and the city can be planned better, There's a 44-year-old resident of Mandevu compound. His name is George Walia. George? He's appealing for the payment of salary arrears, and is claiming that he has gone up to 10 months without getting paid. He's a general worker at Soweto Market under the Lusaka City Council, and he's saying that his financial predicament has forced him into dire living conditions. He's squatting in a bathroom in Mandevu. He's asking for assistance for him to be able to resolve this issue. Let's take a look at this.
This is 44-year-old George Walia, a resident of Lusaka's Mandevu compound. Mr. Walia is facing severe life challenges that have forced him to take shelter in a bathroom. According to Mr. Walia, he works as a general worker at Soweto Market but claims he has not been paid his salary for the past 10 months. He says this situation has left him destitute and he is now demanding the payment of his dues. I work as a general worker at Soweto Market, but I have not been given money for the past 10 months. I just want them to give me back my money. Let them pay me. This has caused me teti lyonse mulende wati mwalanchitiro wali owa 15 kwacha limowa 10 kwacha nanti wala no afeti lero ofo balenchita so nombala sala ndata nomba indala mabana bali pasa abana bakusukuru ni kwata abana bakusukuru bali pasa no grade 8 babiri aba nomba nalaika rashani nabana ine nshikweto kwa kulala ndelala fe mufililo mu toilet mulyo mu nalela bathing room mulya ayama days kuli abapiri muchaisa. Concerned residents have expressed worry over Mr. Walia's condition, noting that his life may be in danger due to his current living situation.
Okay, very safe panoa brother is. Limavara rara paveranda pariama junkie repitom. We are worried about
Mr. Walia because
he tapari safe bari ara bathroom tatuishi bari bakalwara bakese fuira pan so tulefa abapere ko fempia bafaye kwa kayando kwa kwati bari ara kwa wewe ko
Dingindaba George kuno kwatu kwa Mandevu kuchino kuchipata section sari mushi so navi manembazi tikara worried chifawe kuti 1 bazampaira mwamena gona mubafa umu whereby if my neighbor
We
is
are worried
zakara
about Mr. Walya's
responsible.
well-being.
Mwezi wa
Let
polisi
the
ya masiku ano
council
bomba nikambe
pay
bomba
him
njene.
if what he is saying is
Kukachitika
the
chintu.
truth.
My neighbors ndiyo mkara questionable. Mona so chamene chitiyo vya maningi utati uyu muntu uyu kwa mene ngati kwa mene asebenza for sure ku council kuja ku city market kuja kwa mene asebenza kuja waikireko nzero wamupase drama zake so that apeze accommodation na wakazi wake wabwere all the way from Copper Belt.
Soweto Market Management has confirmed awareness of the situation. They state that Mr. Walya has been charged with desertion and given 7 days to provide an explanation.
The issue of not coming for it, that's desertion. So you've been charged for desertion. What would be the case not paid? And then the rest of the 155 are getting paid and they got paid on the 20th of December. So what is special about this case? So you have to respond now to the institution to say, I've been going for it. This is the evidence that I have.
For now, Mr. Walya continues to endure his hardships as management awaits his response. Victoria Kayeye Yambani, Diamond News.
Oh my word. It's really sad. You know, he's living in a bathroom. I met him actually the first time that he came to Diamond to air his grievance, and it was so sad. Yeah. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has been presented with a case involving two individuals that are accused of posing as doctors and fraudulently using the name of the university teaching hospital and neurologist to issue medical Okay, let's take a look at this.
The trial of two people accused of impersonating doctors at the University Teaching Hospital UTH has commenced at the Lusaka High Court, with the state calling 3 witnesses to testify. One of the key witnesses is Dr. Chewe Kakusanikwa, a neurologist at UTH Surgery Department, whose name was allegedly used by the accused to issue prescriptions to 2 female patients without his knowledge. Testifying before court, Dr. Kakusanikwa narrated how his name was frequently used. He has told the court that on July 16, 2024, he was summoned to Kawata Police Station to explain why certain drug prescriptions bore his name. Dr. Kakusanikwa revealed that officers presented him with prescriptions, including one issued on July 11, 2024, for a patient named Rosaria Lungu. According to him, the prescription bearing his name but not his handwriting was for loperamide acetate. He explained that due to the nature of his work, he only prescribed this medication to male patients with prostate cancer, not to female patients as indicated in the fraudulent document. Dr. Kakusanikwa expressed shock when officers showed him additional prescriptions under his name but with a different signature and a department unrelated to his practice. He stated that only doctors in charge or clinical officers within the respective departments are authorized to issue prescriptions. During his testimony, Dr. Kakusanikwa disclosed that police officers involved in the investigation called in a woman identified as Chiwe Kansumba, who was known to promote loperamide acetate at UTH. Dr. Kakusanikwa identified Ms. Kasumba as a pharmaceutical representative who had visited his clinic, but clarified that she was not an employee at UTH. He further stated that he never authorized her to issue prescriptions on his behalf. In this matter, 25-year-old Zimbabwean student Blessed Robert Sabavi and 28-year-old environmental health officer Chiwe Kansumba stand charged of masquerading as doctors. The duo is alleged to have issued incorrect prescriptions to patients and prudently registered them under the National Health Insurance Management Authority, NIMA. Daras Jonya, Tamo News.
You know, these people are very, very mischievous. I think this is, and what is crazy about all this is that one of the accused is 25. He's a Zimbabwean medical student, And then there's also an environmental health officer. These are young people, 25 and 28. What are they doing behaving like this, And this is where I say abantu bari pama. Tiwa papa wa sharafe na ushokwa. Wajatagalezu. Yeah, that's Tonga.
And not Tonga, Tata. And that word has got PS.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. That brings us to the conclusion. There's a lot of things going on in Zambia. Eh? It's just a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff that is happening. Thank you for watching. My name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. I think we're done here.